Hello, everybody. Could you take your seats? We're going to get started. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Thanks for coming. I'm Christine Knapp. I'm the Director of the Office of Sustainability. I'm really proud to be here with you this morning to celebrate this important step in the city's efforts to fight climate change. To kick us off, I'm pleased to introduce the mastermind behind this project, Adam Gallico, the Energy Manager within the city's Office of Sustainability.
Thanks, Christine, and good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming. I'm really happy to be here to celebrate this important project. Mayor Kenny, Councilwoman Reynolds Brown, Councilman Green, and other speakers and all the folks here are going to talk a little bit about the different aspects of this project and kind of how it will benefit Philadelphia. As the city's energy manager, I thought it would be a good idea for me to explain a little bit about how we got here and really what this means for city government, and I'll be as brief as possible. The city's been purchasing electricity in a strategic way for a number of years, and during that time we really focused on two major pillars: making sure we're getting a competitive and a low cost, and that we're paying a kind of a transparent price. A little over a year ago on the city's Art Museum steps, we added to that when we committed to moving towards 100% clean electricity. And so with that kind of third pillar, sort of what brought us here today. This project is our first step towards making that commitment, and it's a significant step. And I think it's really hard for most people to sort of understand when we talk about a 70 megawatt project what that means, so I wanted to give some context to that. 70 megawatts of solar panels is about 700 acres. It's 530 football fields, 100 Rittenhouse squares, or roughly the size of FDR Park. And providing 70 megawatts of electricity is enough to power 22% of city government buildings and our assets, but also could be enough to power 18,000 Philadelphia homes. And it's equal to about 1% of citywide electricity use. So this is big. And we're doing all of this in a budget-neutral, cost-neutral way with our partners, Community Energy. With this project, and with all things that are big in city government, you really can't do it without really strong partners, and there's a lot of folks that played a big part in us getting here today. I wanted to recognize just a couple of those folks individually and then as a group. Kind of leading off with the Energy Office, the team that I work with, Marty Dietz and Amanda Warwood and Dominic McGraw. If you guys could stand up for a little bit. I just want to thank them. You don't see these three people very often, but they're the ones that are out there doing a lot of the work, kind of keeping the city paying its bills and keeping everything organized and developing projects like this. So thank you guys. I wanted to also recognize Community Energy and the great partner that they've been throughout the RFP process, Jake Harless, Brent Audifer, and the whole Community Energy team. We had a lot of folks that I'm not sure if anybody's here, but Emerald Energy Consulting and NLX that really helped us. Folks in the Office of Sustainability, the Philadelphia Energy Authority, and I know Emily's going to say a couple words, but both Emily as well as the board is here today, or a couple members of the board. Thank you guys for supporting this project. And then kind of into the nitty-gritty of city government, the Philadelphia Law Department, Barry Davis and Kevin Burrell, Michelle Flamer, the city's finance group, particularly Palin Chen and Christian Dunbar. And I know this is like an Academy Awards thing, but I can't tell you that a lot of these folks really did a lot of work, so I want to make sure that everybody's recognized. The Office of Economic Opportunity, especially Joseph Weenie and Iola Harper, the Office of Workforce Development, Mayor's Office for Labor, and then our city leadership, Mayor Kenny, City Council, Councilwoman Reynolds Brown in particular for sponsoring this, and co-sponsor Councilman Green. It really takes leadership for us to sort of meet these goals, and we're proud to sort of have a mayor and a city council that strongly supports climate action and strongly supports renewable energy. And then lastly, I wanted to just thank all the advocates that have really kind of pushed us on this work. I know that for some folks it feels like it's been a million years for us to get here, and I know that there's a time limit on what we've got to do in the short period of time that remains, and so I'm hopeful for what we've done, and I'm proud of what we are going to do, because I think we'll be able to meet our long-term goals. So with that, I feel fortunate to have played a part in this work, and I'm excited for what's to come. But more than that, I'm excited to see Philadelphia institutions and companies, as well as other municipalities around the country, replicate this work. And we're looking forward to continuing this work and continuing the implementation of our Municipal Energy Master Plan and all the good work to mitigate climate change here in Philadelphia. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Now we're going to hear from Brent Aldifer, the CEO and co-founder of Community Energy, our partner in this project. Brent.
Thank you, Christine. At Community Energy, we've been doing solar and wind at the scale necessary for climate change for a number of years. So for us, actually, today is actually not about the solar. The solar is impressive. It's very efficient compared to even 5 years ago. It tracks the sun like a sunflower from morning to night, all hundreds of acres of it, tracking like it should to bring more energy into Philadelphia when the air conditioners are on later in the afternoon as it follows the sun. But we've had the technology to take on climate change. We've been in this business for almost 20 years. What we haven't had is the leadership. So we are really pleased to be part of this event today to honor Mayor Jim Kenney, Councilwoman Reynolds Brown, the Energy Office, the Sustainability Office, the Philadelphia Energy Authority. There are not many cities that have stepped into the major leagues on climate change, even with all the opportunity it offers, jobs, a future, a sustainable future, a safe energy future. Philadelphia is now in the lead on that, and we encourage other cities to take a look. So thanks for giving the opportunity to us to be your partner, and we honor the leadership today. Thank you.
Thank you, Brent. And now Councilwoman Reynolds Brown, who is the chair of City Council's Committee on the Environment and our lead on this legislation. Councilwoman.
Good morning, good morning. Hello. We have a great reason for celebration this morning. President John F. Kennedy said it best wherein he stated, "The supreme reality of our time is the vulnerability of our planet." And today is just another example of how this measure certainly addresses the vulnerability of our planet. Its context and history is very, very important. I'd like to remind people that I serve as the second chair of the Committee on the Environment and Sustainability, but it was then Councilman James Kenney who went to then President Anna Vernon to say that we needed to keep up with this new world order we were moving into, and the way for us to keep up is to create a new committee. So we must always be reminded of where history started with regards to this committee. I want to thank all the members of the committee that sat with me on that day in Philadelphia City Council, to my colleagues, two of whom are here today to co-sponsor the legislation, Councilman Derek Green and Councilman Mark Scuola, who squeezed another event into his jam-packed schedule. I also want to especially thank Councilman Dom and Councilman O, who raised a number of important questions at that hearing. Very, very important questions, and while they were comfortable to vote the matter out of committee, I committed to subsequent meetings where we could meet around the table to address more intimately the questions that they raised. So I want to thank them in their absence for the subsequent questions they raised, two of which really, really mattered to me. One, how serious we were going to be with regards to MBE, WBE participation, and two, where could the city be a better and bigger beneficiary of this effort. We came to answers that we could all live with, and we were able to move this out of committee and to the mayor's desk. So the city of Philadelphia has indeed set a goal for all city buildings to be powered through renewable energy by 2030. In order to achieve this goal, we for sure must analyze the need, investigate the options, create a strategic plan, and then implement the strategic plan. The power purchase agreement is a part of that plan and is the result of a thorough procurement process that needs to be underscored in bold letters with 3 exclamation points, because Adam and his team were phenomenal in addressing those questions raised at that subsequent meeting we had. So I want to thank all of those who were involved. And too often we don't hear and know other personalities behind measures. So to that end, I want to ask to stand and recognize the chair of the Philadelphia Energy Authority, Chris Lewis, please, who's also a partner and Chief Officer of Diversity and Inclusion at Blank Rome, the folks who give their time and their talent to this type of measure. And our city should be pleased to know that we actually have an MBE, WBE, who's already in the business of training young people in this new trade, this new future. Spencer Wright, could you please stand so that we could put your name with the face, the Solar States. Folks who get it, are committed, and are helping the city meet its goal to make sure we have young people in this pipeline so that they have real jobs at the end of that rope. We know that this new effort will reduce regional greenhouse gas emissions, and we also know that it's going to be a model, as has already been stated, for institutions, other businesses to purchase clean energy. We're always thrilled to be the leader in new efforts. This for sure will mitigate risk associated with the city's electricity costs by providing a stable, long-term energy prices for our city government. And I'm pleased to say also, most importantly, and I'm being redundant, but you know, one of the principles or tenets of education is that you have to repeat things 7 times before folks get it. That's a fact. And that's for young people, and sometimes that matters for adults too, right? But young people are a part of this equation. Young people are a part of this new sustainable future, and that really does matter. The Office of Sustainability worked very, very closely with the Office of Economic Opportunity. We became convinced of that in that subsequent meeting with Councilman Dom and Councilman O. And we were assured that community energy is committed to our economic opportunity plan that promotes women, people of color, and disabled businesses with their participation in the Adams Solar LLC, seeking to meet those very, very strident goals and requirements. So we have reason to be excited. Philadelphia, again, has checked off in being a leader in this new way with other cities to follow, and that's a big deal and something much to be celebrated. So to all of those, again, who made this happen, the Office of Sustainability, Adam, with your exquisite brilliance around the table in that subsequent meeting, Emily, and all of us who care about growing this new sustainable future, thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Next, we're going to hear from a duo. We're going to hear from Emily Shapiro, the Executive Director of the Philadelphia Energy Authority, and Celia Scuola, who is a Solar States employee and a Youth Build Philly graduate.
Thanks, Christine. My name is Emily Shapiro. I'm the Executive Director of the Philadelphia Energy Authority. I'm very excited to be here today with Celia and this amazing group of leaders who have made this project a reality. The Philadelphia Energy Authority, for those of you who don't know, is an independent municipal authority created to support the city on issues of energy affordability and sustainability. We run an initiative that was really spearheaded by Council President Clark. We launched in 2016 called the Philadelphia Energy Campaign. It's a $1 billion investment over 10 years in energy efficiency and clean energy projects, particularly focused on 4 sectors: city buildings, schools, low and moderate income housing, and small businesses. Our goal is to create 10,000 jobs. Since we've started, we've launched a ton of projects. We've created hundreds of jobs, and one of those programs is Solarize Philly, the largest residential rooftop solar program in the country. We've had over 350 households go forward with solar, making Philadelphia the 4th fastest growing solar market in the country in 2017. We know that we need to make sure that our young people are trained for these positions in this growing field. And we're really excited about this power purchase agreement and this solar project because it creates a huge opportunity for our trainees to be able to participate. Celia actually graduated from one of the training programs in the city from Youth Build that teaches folks about solar. And Laura Rigel from my office, our solar manager, wave Laura, also helps run another program that until now has been called Find Your Power, where we've trained over 50 high school students in the basics of solar and energy efficiency. And now we've received a $1.25 million grant from the Department of Energy over the next 3 years to expand that program. It is now rebranded Bright Solar Futures, and that will create the nation's first 3-year career and technical education program of study. So we're really excited about that. And this project is a real opportunity for those kids to engage on a real, on-the-ground solar project. We're excited for our high school students to be able to take a field trip out there and see what's going on with this project. We're also really excited that our youth build trainees will have a chance to apprentice on this project as well. We're working with Community Energy to hopefully place 15 students in this project in the field. So we're extremely excited for the commitment from Community Energy. And I want to highlight one other thing. You know, it's very unusual for a city, even a city of our size, to have such a world-class energy office. We're procuring energy in a really sophisticated way in this city, really akin to what, you know, large corporations have. And it's very unusual for city government. So I want to just give a huge thanks to Adam Magalico and your team. You guys are doing incredible work, and that's saving the city a ton of money. It's getting us really far on climate change. I know we have a lot of work left to do, but 22% of our electricity consumption is a big deal. So thank you guys for all of your work, and thank you so much for the leadership of Mayor Kenney, Councilwoman Reynolds Brown, Councilman Green, Councilman Scuola. Thank you for being here, all of you, and thank you for the work you're doing. I'm going to hand it off to Celia to tell us a little bit about her experience in the field.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hi, I'm Celia. I'm 21 years old, and I started off as a 19-year-old dropout. I was not worried about going to school or finishing anything like that, but I was just usually working. So I feel like I realized that I really wanted more for myself. So I got recommended to a school called Youth Build Philadelphia Charter School. And as I went to Youth Build, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about solar states. That's where I work now. Pretty much I learned about solar panels. This module right here is really a whole lot. Like, usually most of us, I know some of us don't have solar panels, so I know that most of us pay pico for electricity when you really get it free from the sun. Like, all us here, don't laugh at me. Most of us here right now is, some of us probably have bad asthma if you know that we don't have clean air out there or pretty much fresh water, and we need that, like, to breathe air. So I'm sorry if you have asthma and you look at the wires every day that's above us is pretty much enough coal and gas. It's not healthy for us. But I really wanted to start it off with saying how I went to Youth Build. I just graduated. It's a year-to-year program. I graduated early. It's from August to August. I graduated in June. And when I graduated in June, early, Micah, my boss, he hired me. When I say I got this position because I was willing to work and I was speaking and going to class every day, doing everything I needed to do, take notes to learn more about what I needed to know about the solar industry, I want to say thank you for having me here today because I didn't ever see myself in something like this. Just saying thank you.
Thank you, Celia. Thank you, Emily. And now, last but not least, our mayor, Jim Kenney.
Thank you, and good morning to everyone. It's great to be here with you today for this bill signing. As you know, we've committed Philadelphia to keep working towards meeting the goals of the Paris Climate Agreement. And we know climate change is already having devastating effects around the world, and we are feeling it here in Philadelphia, one of the rainiest years on record. We know fighting climate change is the right thing to do for our health, our safety, and for our economy. Thankfully, the solution is within our reach, and we are already acting on them. We need to use less energy, which we are doing through a variety of programs that cut energy use in our city buildings. We also need to use cleaner energy from sources like wind and solar. Today, we're proud to be signing a bill, this bill, which will allow Philadelphia to purchase 22% of our electricity from a new solar facility, which will be the largest in Pennsylvania. This project is also a smart economic move. We'll lock in today's cost for the life of the 20-year contract, which will likely help us save money as energy prices increase in the future. And the solar development will boost job growth, creating economic opportunities here in Philadelphia and in the larger region. With existing solar training programs in Philadelphia led by the Philadelphia Energy Authority and others, we know we have Philadelphia residents ready to lead in these jobs. So I want to thank Councilwoman Reynolds Brown, Councilman Green, Councilman Scuola for being here today, and I want to thank the Office of Sustainability and the Philadelphia Energy Authority for all their work over the last 2 years and making this concept a reality. And thank you to Community Energy for being a strong partner and making commitments to provide economic opportunities for Philadelphia. So we look forward to flipping the switch after I sign the bill, which I think I'm supposed to do now. Okay, good. Thanks, everyone, for their hard work. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks so much.
Councilwoman, could I get a picture with you and so I consider you the leader of this?